Hey, it's Goblin. Are you ready to yap? Hi, I'm so happy
Hello.
you're here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Me too. Okay, I would love if you will introduce yourself to the class.
Awesome. Hello, I am Kass Shire. I write usually cozy, always spicy, but like inevitably nerdy monster romance.
That is such a good explanation. I am obsessed with that.
Thank you.
Okay. I always like to ask at the beginning if you will walk us through kind of like your author journey and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, so I'd say I've always been an avid reader, and as a kid, I always said I wanted to be a writer, and my mom was kind of like, maybe not the best idea. Um, and so I have somewhere. I don't have them anymore, but I did write like two full novels before
Okay.
I left high school. And then I went to school to teach high school theater.
Wow,
And
okay.
in my senior year, I had the realization that I was at school from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every single day. I had no time to write. I had no time to read. Like I couldn't even
Yeah.
breathe unless it was high school theater. And I kind of looked at my husband, who was just my boyfriend at the time, and I was like,
Yeah.
hey, I can't do this halfway. Like,
Mm,
this is like an all or nothing thing for me.
yeah.
And I don't know that I give a fuck enough about high
Continuing.
quality high school theater in
Yes.
order to make it my entire life. And that's
And
what it will
that's,
be.
yeah, that's valid.
So um, like I graduated and then I just had like a random ass job and then we got pregnant like as soon as we got engaged. And then so I
Amazing.
spent like years where I just like couldn't even read because I was so tired that I would like fall asleep immediately when I started reading. Um, and so then I like started reading a little bit more as my kid got older. And then one of my
Mhm.
friends, Danny, wanted to start a writing group because they were really into writing. And I was like, oh yeah, once upon a time, I used to love writing too. So we started this writing group. And through that, it was, I think, 2017 or 2018. And we would write a chapter a week and then submit it to each other and get feedback.
Yeah.
And though that book that I wrote is called Guardian, it's not out yet because I knew when I wrote it that I wanted to be a better writer when I put it out for real.
Yeah.
But it is kind of the foundation to all of my books. That's where my magic system came from. And all of my, at least my main series books, take place within the same world, just like 30 years before. Um, our writing group kind of petered out, and I kind of petered out with writing. And then the pandemic hit, and like everyone else on the face of the planet, not everyone else, but I watched Bridgerton. And then Bridgerton put me on a historical romance kick. And
Okay.
then Sarah McLean, who writes historical romance, has this page on her website where she recommends books, and she recommended Morning Glory Milking Farm. I'm
Do
the
you see?
most
Do you see
basic,
Milked?
yep,
This is
I'm the most basic monster romance bitch out there.
yep.
Um,
It's how I started too.
yep.
I I told CM the other day or when she was on the podcast that she is the reason I have KU because I heard
Oh,
about her book and I was like, well, I have to get this app subscription that has books and so she's the reason I read indie and everything else.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so I like joined her Discord server. I became a patron. My husband is also on her Discord server because I made him read the books. Because I was like, listen, no, you're gonna love how like intricate these books are interconnected and blah blah blah. I need you to be able to like theory craft with me. And he was
Yes.
like, okay. And then I subscribed to a tier on her Patreon that I don't know if it even exists anymore or not, but you got like a short that she would write a short for you.
Cool. Yeah.
Um, but that tier was kind of like a leftover from before she blew up. And so I was like, I've been thinking about it, and I think I want a bear shifter because, like, so many of the bear shifter books that I've read lately read like low key, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, traditional family values. And
Okay.
I'm not into it. And she was like, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. I have no idea when I'm going to write this short for you. So, like, if you want it anytime in the next 6 years, I'm going to need you to write it yourself. Like, I can't be. And like,
I love this.
and I was like, okay. And then there was an anthology going around at the same time because there was like, it was right when Roe v. Wade got overturned, and there was an
Mm,
anthology called I Am the Fire. And
mm,
I really wanted to be part of it, but also I didn't have anything that would work. And it was due in like a month. And my husband was like, hey, love, that sounds like it's going to make you crazy to go from writing 0 words to writing a bunch of words in the next month. What if you wrote something with the goal of it being in an anthology, but not this
this.
anthology? And I was like, okay, okay.
We love realistic expectations.
So I wrote a polar expedition
Mhm.
and other stimulating research opportunities. Originally, it was like 40,000 words, so just short of a novella. And then that November, I did National Novel Writing Month to finish-ish Guardian. So it's not completely finished, but I added another 60,000 words during that nano. And then I had the realization that Polar was like a little shorter than I think it needed to be. So I expanded it and realized there's no way this is fitting in an anthology. And so I just needed to publish it by itself. And a polar expedition was really a combination of I wanted a bear shifter and I wanted to explore more about where magic came from in my world.
Mm.
And I wanted to have a few things established in the lore. Like I wanted to figure them out for myself to
Mm.
know for certain before I went back to Guardian. So it was kind of like, let's rewind and see what things were like before all this other stuff happened.
Yeah.
Um, and then from there, I've just kept writing. You probably know how it is. Side characters pop up and they're like, "Hey, girl, I want a book too." Um, so that's worked out really nicely. And then I usually stick within my same universe if I'm writing by myself, but I have made forays into modern settings or different settings as like co-writes or collaborative projects. But generally speaking, it's kind of like, listen, your girl has autism, and Timon, which is the name of my world, is one of my special interests. So like I just want to hang out there all the time. Like I have some sci-fi books that are coming out that while they don't take place on Timon, they low-key do take place in the same universe.
Mm.
So
Yes.
like
That's so cool. Did you always know that, like, obviously with this bear shifter, like you knew you wanted a bear shifter. Did you know when you decided, okay, I'm gonna write it for myself, that it would connect to Guardian? Or like when did that kind of solidify for you?
so when she said you need to write it yourself, I was like, my brain was like, no, because I don't want to write anything that's not connected to Guardian. And then I was like, so when I first wrote Guardian,
Hmm.
there weren't monsters, there weren't shifters at all. But I am a hoe for a hard magic system. And
Okay.
so the way my magic system works is they basically can alter anything within their own body
Mm.
at um and I knew that there was this sleeping goddess, and I knew that she had kind of cut off the two continents. So there are two continents, and the other continent doesn't have magic and this continent does. And so she kind of made the world as a dollhouse. I knew all this, that she was kind of like fighting with her Barbies. And then she was like, oh, maybe that's horrible. And so she was like, okay, everybody's going in their corner to learn to be better and to be whatever you're gonna be outside of my control. I'm gonna take a nap. And when I wake up from nap, everybody can play together again, but I'm not gonna be interfering. And so that's kind of where Guardian starts, is when the barrier is removed and the two
Mm.
continents get to talk to each other. And so then I was like, I want to write this bear shifter. I know that she's sleeping at the North Pole.
Got it.
And so if these people are so close to her that they are not only absorbing the magic through like drinking it or eating
Mm.
it, it's like in the very air that they
Right.
breathe.
Yeah.
So if you can control anything about your body and then you just turn that up to 100, that means you could be a shifter.
Yeah.
And so that means that my shifters also choose the animal that they shift into. It's not
Cool.
hereditary. It's like you study an animal, you
Yeah.
learn about like the DNA level changes you would have to make to your body to be able
Yeah.
to shift into that animal.
So the magic is basically if you know it, you can do it.
Yeah. Well, the
Cool.
magic is like you have to be predisposed to be able to use the magic.
Right, right,
And
right.
then, like, in most of the worlds, in most of the world, people have to like really study to be able
Mm.
to understand how their DNA and their atoms work and like
Yeah.
what changes to make that will be safe and not like really hurt or kill themselves.
Right.
Whereas the closer you get to where the lady sleeps, the more instinctual it becomes and the more
Got
powerful
it.
your magic is. And so
Cool.
they don't really do any like actual studying. They
Mm.
just like study the animal and like meditate and stuff. And
They
and
said
like
this will
this,
be cool.
yeah, and the strength of the magic just kind of makes up for it. Like there,
Cool.
people often like make changes to their body subconsciously. So, like in book two of my
Sick.
series, I have a little boy that comes out as trans, so like female to male, and he
Yeah.
comes out to his mom and he's like, "Hey, mom, I think I'm a boy." And she's like, "Okay, cool." But like, they get him a haircut because he wants to get a haircut. They pick a
Yeah.
new name, but like, at no point do they really have a conversation about how does he want to transition? Because his mom knows and trusts that he's just going to transition his own body
Ooh.
in the way that he wants. So like she
Yeah.
doesn't need to like intervene at all because his body will just subconsciously align with how he sees himself.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And they do like conscious stuff sometimes. Like one at
Yeah.
one point in one of my books, a girl is like, "Oh, I'm going on a date. I'm gonna like make my eyelashes look real nice real quick." Like they don't put on makeup. They just be like, I'm gonna blush up my cheeks. I'm gonna put like,
That's that's so sick. I
isn't
love
it?
that. Yeah. I wish I had that magic.
And everybody like normally has white hair
Hmm.
because they're like so close to the magic that it's just like bleaching their hair.
Hmm.
And then Siren, my FMC from a polar expedition, shows up, and because she's not born there, she doesn't have white hair. And then
Mm.
over the next couple of years, more and more outside people come. And so by the time you get into book four, which I'm writing now, kids are running around with what their natural hair color would be if it
Mm.
wasn't bleached because they're actively being like, oh, this is the cool new hip thing, not to have white hair anymore, like all the lame grown-ups. It's to have your like natural hair color.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
It's
Oh, that's
funny.
so cool. It's so interesting to think about like what a society would look like and what like your body would look like or what your hair would look like if you just got to like decide. Like just
Hmm.
like didn't have
And I
to, yeah.
Yeah. And part of the reason that I wrote Polar too, I was going through eating disorder treatment at the time as a plus
Mm.
size woman. And um, I had a boss who was like, "Oh, don't you think you like should have waited until you like lost a bit more weight to do that?"
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
What?
right? Right?
Lost
And
a bit more weight while what?
uh-huh. Uh-huh. But
Are you
okay.
fucking
It was fucking insane. And so all the time in my eating disorder treatment, we're talking about all of the good things that my body does for me, how wonderful
Yeah.
my body is. And so I really needed to write a book where a woman was plus sized on purpose.
I love that.
And so all of my FMCs, not all of them, not all of them are this kind of magic user because it's basically like humans on one continent and then
Hmm.
magical creatures on the other continent. And so you
Hmm.
can either have magic or be magic. There aren't people that
Got it.
are magical creatures and can do magic too.
Yeah.
Um, but basically, they could all have the types of bodies that we in our society idealize, but that's
Wow.
not what they want. Because I needed, as a plus size woman, I try really, really hard to be like positive and loving towards my own body, and I still live here. And so I
Yep.
needed like a place. I needed to see characters that just didn't even think of it.
Mhm.
Or in like Siren's case, she's going on a trek to the North Pole. She's like, I am going to actively grow my fat stores so that I can be warmer, so that I can tap into them when I need them for energy. And so I didn't mean at first to write only plus sized FMCs,
Hmm.
but then I kind of just kept doing it because I kept needing it.
Yeah.
And so
It's
now they're just all
yeah.
plus size.
I love that. I love just the idea again, like I just said, like being in a world where you get to choose exactly what you look like and the choice is to be plus size. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to commend you because like I love going on your page and I think like not oftentimes there are accounts that are 100% like safe for my brain all the time. Like going
Yeah.
there and just even with character art, like we're talking about fictional characters that you get to
Yep.
make up, that an author gets to make up. And sometimes I will go on a page and I'm like, I can't relate to any of these characters. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, you know, like they're fake, they're fictional. You're
Yeah.
not writing for every single person ever, but I feel so safe on your page because I know that I am not going to see I think it's very interesting just in our day and age when you look at character art. It's either going to be the very idealistic body, super skinny, you know, the vibes,
Mm-hmm.
or it's going to be a plus size person that is it feels like a gimmick. And I don't know if
Mm.
you if that makes
Yeah.
sense, but like
The good type of plus sized.
yes, or it's like plus size but like it is the most like
Yeah.
tiniest of
Mm-hmm.
change or it's like overly expressive and you're like
Yeah.
what are we doing here because this doesn't
Yeah.
feel realistic either and I just love going on your page because it feels real and like there
Oh,
is
good.
goals and there is like just real but like I get to see like what my stomach looks like you know and
Mm-hmm.
but also look like on somebody that is like desired and not like a
Yes.
joke, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
like an exaggeration. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Sorry. My kitten, he's
Oh,
not
that's
actually a
okay.
kitten. He's in here with me and he's screaming to get out. It's okay, buddy. You can get out.
I know. So cute.
Um, he's
I
like,
just want you to know I couldn't hear it at all. Zoom is really
oh, okay.
good. And Zoom is really good at like canceling noise, so I couldn't even hear it.
Okay, good.
Um, but yeah, I think it's not often that you get to see like so many variations of fat girls like in a
Yeah.
beauty standard.
Hmm.
Last year, one of my artist friends, her at is Art of Ether Realm. Love her to death. She goes by Realm. And she sent me this sketch of my goblin character. And it was like wrapped in like bows, like Christmas
Mm-hmm.
bows. And she was like, I made this, like, do you love it? And I'm like, yeah, it's gorgeous. And she was like, do you have any edits? And I was like, well, no. And I didn't pay this. She was just like giving this to me as a gift.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, no, but like that's not what my body looks like at all. And my character is me. It is 100%
Yeah.
me. It's why all of my characters have giant boobs because I have giant boobs. Like
Yep.
it is me. And so when I said that, she was like, say less, send me photos.
A
And
reference.
so
Yeah.
I sent her like risque photos because like
Yeah.
I wanted it to look like me, you know? And she came back and made me this piece that like it took me a second to like look at it because it was so like overly like it was me, but like on the most display that like I never even do that. And obviously on my Goblin account, like I'm preaching positivity constantly. I'm
Yep.
preaching like love your body constantly, but like there are still parts that like I don't show myself, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
wear high-waisted pants every day because like that in my
It's
head, like
easier to
exactly,
maintain that love and if you're not confronted.
exactly. Yes, and I was confronted with everything. Like we are talking a ribbon, a piece of ribbon that is like only like a single 2-inch ribbon around my body. And I'm looking at it, and obviously I'm green and I have
Yeah.
bright pink hair, and but it's still like my body, and just like looking at that was so cool. It again, it took a while, but
Yeah.
I think there are not a lot of spaces online that like show that. But I think your page does. So just commending that, and I just
Thank you.
appreciate it because it is a safe place for me to go on your page.
I work really hard to work with artists that
Mm.
really understand plus size bodies. Because there is a really strong learning curve for people if they
Yes.
haven't drawn plus size bodies before. And
Yes.
I've kind of had to learn that over time. And I still think I can always do better at representing a diversity
Yeah.
of plus size bodies because plus size bodies come in a whole bunch of different angles.
Yeah.
Um, it's funny because I work very frequently with Phantom Dame, who is my
Yes.
cover artist, and she does a lot of my other art as well. And once upon a time, she drew this like just a sketch sheet of a bunch of different plus size bodies, a bunch of different plus size women in bikinis about like all bodies are beach bodies because someone just like pissed her off one day and she was like, I'm gonna draw all these gorgeous plus size women in bikinis. And so now I often just use that page as a reference. And I'm like, hey, it's this girl this time, is this body, and this is how she's going to be different than this one.
Yes, I love that. Yeah,
But
it's really just interesting because like you can't even say like, oh, it's a size 18 pants because like that doesn't exist. That's not a
mhm.
universal rule. Like a
Yep,
size, like that it doesn't mean anything because I could get 7 size 18s and
they're
look
all going to be different.
yeah. Like there's no way. And so it's just interesting, and I also think like artists and also or authors and also just anybody commissioning art, there is this level of like, how many times do I have to say make her fatter?
No, fatter. No. fatter. I had a guy recently comment and be like, "Oh, it's so cool that all your women are plus sized, but your guys aren't." First of all, several of my guys are.
Yeah, they are
And
actually.
they are. And I'm actually not super focused on them. I'm focused on making sure plus size women get representation.
Yeah,
And plus size women are with men of a bunch of different body types. So,
absolutely.
and then also, I am so focused on saying no fatter, no fatter, no fatter for the women that like half the damn time I'm like, as long as he looks like attractive, I don't give a fuck at the end of the day
And
sometimes.
honestly, that's so fair.
And
You
and
know,
so like sometimes the
yeah,
guys end up musclier than I wrote them or I intended them to be, but I just don't have the energy to
yeah,
like course correct on them because I'm so focused on course correcting on the FMC.
yeah.
Which like, you know, with
But
some
I
artists,
also,
I've gotten to the point where I don't have to course correct as
of
much
course,
anymore,
yeah.
which is great.
But I also think that's an insane take from your page because I think that you have a lot of men who are very like there's an entire range of body types within your men, especially going from human to shark and human to bear. Like
Yeah.
there's such a difference. And there are plus size men. Like I know I can visually see it right
Are
now
you
that
gonna
I
look at Burn, my polar bear shifter, and tell me that with his big belly, he's not a plus size man?
yeah,
Are there are there pieces of art that artists have done where he doesn't look expressly plus size? Absolutely.
yeah.
And I think you can look at my page for 2 seconds and see the art that I prefer because I
Yes.
use it more, and it's the
Yes.
ones where people look great.
Correct. And it's not hard if you just took 2 seconds to scroll some more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also,
Huh.
I'm trying to get really good at the bean soup thing,
What is
which
the
is
soup thing?
like, so this person was doing a recipe for bean soup, and then
Okay.
somebody comes in the comments and they're like, I don't like beans. Do you have a recipe? And it's like, hey, actually, don't come on my bean soup recipe and ask for something else. There are a bajillion recipes that are not for beans.
I don't like beans is crazy.
And so, like, I'm kind of learning how to say, actually, this is my plus sized romance page. So, this is not the place where you come for
Yeah.
specifically romance that features plus size men. This is romance featuring plus size women.
Yeah.
That's where I've hung my hat. Go find another recipe. There
Go
are bajillions of recipes. This is my recipe.
go find another recipe, actually. I love this. I think that we would all be a little bit happier if we just went and found our own recipes when we need those recipes. And
Mm-hmm.
not put the responsibility on other people to make the
Right?
recipe that you want.
Specifically tailored to you. You know what I did? I went and wrote a damn book.
Yeah,
So like you could Google for 2 seconds and find
please, please go Google. Please, please go Google immediately. We're
mm-hmm.
we're actually begging. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Okay, because I know this is a big topic. I'm ready to get into it.
Okay.
Your theory
Oh,
of non-romance or non-human romance as an extremely logical next step of sexual liberation. I
okay.
need it.
Okay. I don't know if I can fully claim this theory.
That's
Anyone that
fine.
wants like I think that this theory is like really founded on this Twilight video
Got it.
that ContraPoints did because it's like a maybe a 4 hour long video. But
Oh,
so it talks about it's long.
that is a
But
long one.
basically it talks about how we have this idea of heteronormative sadomasochism, aka sex is between a man and a woman where he is in charge and she is like submissive to him.
Right.
And this is our like societal understanding that we are told in our society.
Yes.
And the beautiful thing is like as we progress over time, that's starting to break down.
Mhm.
But so rewind 50, 60 years ago, I maybe the times are wrong. I'm sorry. When we started having like real romances, think like bodice rippers.
Mhm.
And part of the reason that we needed them to be bodice rippers is because women at the time had been told there are two types of women. There are good girls and sluts. And
Mhm.
sluts want and enjoy sex, and good girls are pure and do not want sex.
Mm.
And
Okay.
so, therefore, women needed ways to trick their brains into accepting that the FMC was still a good girl, even though she was enjoying sex. And
Got it.
so the sex had to be non-consensual for her to be, for the FMC to be able to maintain that she was
Yeah.
a good girl. She didn't want sex. She wasn't interested in sex, but if it was happening to her, then she might as well enjoy it.
Wow. Okay.
And so, obviously, we're not in that place anymore. And so,
Right.
when we look back, we're like, holy fuck, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
But when you think about the time, it's like if the book had just come out and said like the FMC was down and wanted to have sex, even if they were like married, the woman would have been like, I can't read this anymore. She would have
Yeah.
immediately put the book down because like that's a whore that wants
Right.
sex. So we're in this weird transition period right now
Hmm.
where so many of us still grew up in like quite conservative upbringings. Or even if you didn't grow up in a super conservative upbringing, you still grew up with this idea that like your virginity was important and it was
Oh
something that
yeah.
you were supposed to guard, and this like societal understanding that like
Yeah. I
boys were
mean,
gonna pressure you to have sex and
yeah,
you had to resist.
of
And that
course.
was your job.
The purity rings, the purity culture, like rampant
Yeah,
all
rampant.
over.
And because of that, so many of us still have like hang-ups
Yeah.
about sex and how sex presents. And so some people use kink to get around those internal shame things that
Yeah.
we have going on. And I think that like non-human romance is an exploration of that. So what I mean by that is that we've been told sex is man, woman, dom, sub, he's in charge, she is passive.
Yes.
And non-human romance kind of introduces this idea that oftentimes the guys are like hyper masculine,
Mhm.
very dangerous. And more often than not, they're fucking simps. They are like so down bad, it's not even funny.
Yes.
And so I think it's as we wrestle with owning our own sexuality, we kind of come to this crossroads where we're like, how does that translate? What does that dynamic become?
Mm.
And one of the things that I think Monster Romance does really, really well is it communicates like a bunch of things pretty subliminally, but quite clearly. So, like, first of all, for plus size women, it has this wonderful thing that you can have a huge size difference. You can love your body and still get to be tiny. Like, you can be a plus size woman, you can be a super tall woman, and you can still feel tiny, like we have been socially conditioned to believe we're supposed to want.
Right.
And you can have this hyper masculine, scary, dangerous thing
Hmm.
that kind of personifies how we are thought to think about men, that they are dangerous. And so often in these books, that danger is subservient to the love that they feel for the FMC. And it is never wielded against them,
Hmm.
but it is wielded for them. And
Yeah.
so it actually elevates the FMC so that her desires become what is more powerful. And so often in monster romance, these guys are like obsessed with
Oh,
going down on
completely.
their women. They
Yes.
are like all about her pleasure. And it allows us to interact, a lot of us, with kink for the first time
Mm.
because it's just his culture. And it would be like rude and racist if you weren't chill with your Minotaur husband spanking you because that's his culture. Or, like, you know what I mean? It's a
Yes.
way
Yo, no,
for us
yeah.
to remove some of the responsibility of being
Yeah.
interested and curious about kink because that's deviant and weird. I'm saying that so sarcastically,
Of
but it
course, of
allows
course.
us to dip our toes in and like check out the vibes in a way that allows us to retain some of the like requirements that we need to see ourselves as.
Yeah.
And so I'm really curious to see like how this is going to change over time. I think this is something that dark romance also does really, really well because
Hmm.
even though they're not non-human, they are often like monstrous in different ways, which
Mm.
removes the responsibility from the FMC. So again, they are wielding their very dark, dangerous powers for her.
Right.
And those very dark, dangerous people are submitting to their feelings for her, which allows her and us as readers to indulge in the things that we as biological human beings want and
Yeah.
are, I mean, sex repulsed spectrum people notwithstanding, but like
Yeah.
we're wired to want to have sex so we can procreate. And
Yeah.
we've put all of these layers of shame that like sometimes we need to trick our brains around so that we can have those screaming voices in our heads just shut up and let us enjoy something.
Yeah. One of my one of my friends and I, her at name's last 100 pages. I love you, Emmy. Um, she and I talk about this a lot, but this idea of taking that kind of concept a little step further when it involves like female to female relationships and this book space that we're creating and all of this in right now, we are simultaneously reading some of the most raunchy, like insanely sexual books with these massive monsters and their appendages and their tails and all of these things that we're reading, and we are not entirely scandalized because we're all used to it, but conversations that I 100,000% would have never had with any other friend in my entire life. I am more than comfortable asking my friend who I know has also read the Minotaur romance. I'm more than comfortable saying, "Hey, what vibrator do you use? Hey,
Mm-hmm.
when you have sex, do you do this or do you do that? Or like, if you want to do that, like, I have
Yeah.
never in my life been able to have a straight face conversation with a friend about sex, about
Yep.
let me just also say with my partner, with my
Yeah.
husband, who I have been
Absolutely.
with for 8 years. I have not been able to have normal fucking conversations with the
Mm-hmm.
person I'm fucking married to
Yeah.
until I started being in this world. And
Yep.
I was
Same.
like, oh, I know we're not. monsters and you're not a minotaur, but like he did this thing or he said this thing and I like that. Hey, what did my husband like? What do you think about this? And I've
Yeah.
never been able to do that before. I've never been able to talk about sex, let alone
Yep.
have a podcast where I can talk about it.
Yeah.
Like all of those things that just did not exist before I was inundated into this space. And I think it sucks for a lot of reasons that it like takes this long and takes this much effort to like not feel disgusting, you know. I've
Yeah.
lived in the
And
South since
shame.
I've
Yep.
lived in, Texas since I was 9 years old. Like this is, you know what it is. You grow up in church, you grow up in sex is shameful, all of this, and then
Yep.
I grew up finding out about sex in not safe ways. And I wish that in middle school and high school, I read a normal book that had sex. Like if I had an Allie Hazelwood book
Yep.
in my freshman year of high school, okay, yeah, I know parents, you're like, I would never give my high school student a book with sex in it. You don't know what I was reading when I was
Yeah.
14.
For real.
You don't know
Like
where I was
positive,
finding
healthy
information.
portrayals of sex are
Yes,
so important.
so important, so important. And if I had a daughter and I knew that I could give her a book that was written by a woman for women, or, femme presenting or whoever
Yeah.
wants to read the book, obviously,
Yeah.
but like written in a way that is a healthy, safe way that I knew, okay, you can learn about sex like this, where
Mm-hmm.
it's not,
Yeah.
you're going to go on Omegle chat and talk to some random
Yep.
or
Yep.
you're gonna go on AO3 and you're not gonna know
Read all kinds of fan fiction.
what
That's what I
subtags
did.
you should be avoiding or what any of this means. And
Yep.
my poor brain, and then seeing, like how, okay, well, that must be like where my worth comes from and like how that stemmed from all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
If I just had a Allie Hazelwood book or
Yep.
like any just, and I'm not saying go crazy. I'm not saying go crazy.
No.
But if I had a book that I just got to read about two people falling in love and then like escalating that relationship into sex in a
Yep.
healthy way
Healthy
where
way.
they talked about boundaries and we talked about what that looked like, I don't know how different my mental health would be. Like,
100%.
yeah,
100%. And I think there's like a movement right now around romance, and like a bunch of dudes are like pushing back because they're like, my wife started reading romance and now she's leaving me. And it's like, hey, bro, um,
let's look inward.
because like, sure, are there probably people on the planet that
Of course.
expect their lives to be like romance books? Sure.
Sure.
But I think more often women are reading romance books and realizing that they should expect
The bare minimum.
the bare minimum. Actually, today we were buying a TV for my office in like Walmart, and my husband and I were like carrying it through Walmart together. And
Mhm.
this man was like walking past us, and he was like, now there's some good teamwork. That's the kind of woman you want. And I'm like, okay, great. But as we're walking away, I turn around and I say to my husband, I was like, yeah, but also if you want a wife who's going to carry a TV through Walmart with you, you need to treat her as an equal.
Yeah. Also, just men commenting on women in
Like,
public
right?
should
Mind your
never
damn
happen.
business.
Shut the fuck up, please.
Yeah.
A man that wants to say anything to me in public, I'm like, why are you here? Go away.
No.
But like that's so true. Like I I think it's a big conversation about like I love using the example of the color pink, right?
Hmm.
I when I was a little kid, I loved the color pink. My room was pink, everything was pink. I loved pink. And then I got a little older and I was like, I'm not allowed to like pink because pink is for girly girls. And in my head, that was bad. It was bad to be like the other
Yep.
girls. because that's what
Yep.
society tells us.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's you're not allowed to like pink. And so I liked blue or I liked purple or I liked whatever fucking color that wasn't pink. And I
Mm-hmm.
specifically hated pink. Bitch,
Yep.
pink is my favorite color. It's always
Yeah.
been my favorite color.
Yep.
And it has taken so long. And having a husband who kind of like fills in the like is masculine, but in a safe way that it lets me
Yes.
be feminine again. And
Mm-hmm.
like I get to like pink again because I
Yeah.
want to be like other girls now,
Yeah.
and I've
Because other
never,
girls rock.
they're fucking cool. I want to be
Yeah.
just like every girl all the time,
Mm-hmm.
ever. And
Same.
it just, how much of that has changed since I started this Bookstagram account and since
Yeah.
I have decided to kind of like go head on with my confidence level and how I kind of like felt about myself and my body and everything in between and what that looked like and kind of confronted that
Yeah.
like very quickly of just like, oh hey, you're gonna make an account and you're also gonna be like the face of the account and you're gonna talk on and you're gonna be right there. So you
Yep.
better figure out how to be confident because you're not giving yourself an option. And like those kinds of things and what it's led into of me, yeah, I take pictures of myself all the time. I've never done that before.
Yeah.
I mean, I wear crop tops, I show my stomach, I don't give a fuck, like I do all of those things and I
Yep.
do not fit in a size. I don't even know. I don't even look at sizes. I
Because they're
only wear trousers
useless.
that are stretchy, so I don't even an XXL maybe. Who fucking knows? But it doesn't
Yep.
matter because like if it looks cute, I wear it and that's
Yep.
it. And I think there's just so much space in our world that is missing that, and I'm really
Yes.
lucky to have been ended up here.
100%. Yeah. No, I agree completely. I feel like the friendships that I have found in this community are so much deeper
Yes.
and more vulnerable
Yes.
and healing and important for me than any other friendships I have ever had because they are the kind of friendships I'm going to totally out myself. They are the kind of friendships that I can say, hey, girl, all these girls' clits in these books are like real big. They're like pretty easy to locate. I don't think I've ever actually seen my own clit. Is there something wrong with me? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Yes. And you can't
and
have that like
no,
pre Bookstagram, pre authorhood, pre all of it. You can't have those conversations. You
no.
cannot. No,
Mm-mm.
they just don't happen. Like the friendships I had before, and I moved around a lot as a kid, so
Yeah,
I was never really anywhere for a long time. And a lot of times I would make friends with people that had already had friends for a very long time. So I got the
yeah.
I already have a best friend. We can come up with another name for you. I got that a lot. So much fun. But like I have never had stronger friendships than the ones that I make online and the ones that
Mm-hmm.
I've made through this Bookstagram account.
Yep,
Because I could ask
100%.
them anything. I could
Yeah,
literally tell them anything. And I know I would be greeted with open arms. And that's
exactly.
not the case for
No.
people that I've met in person.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But it's like because you know some of the shit they've read, whatever's gonna come out of your mouth is like nothing
Exactly.
compared.
Exactly. Exactly. Like
Mm-hmm.
my friend Emmy, she loves sentient romance. Like that's her
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Loves it. And so I'm always like, I could tell her anything. I can
Anything.
tell her anything because I don't know what the fuck she's reading today, but I know it's not anything
I know
more
it's
crazy.
way kinkier than what I'm
Yep.
about to say.
Way kinkier than any random ass real question I'm gonna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's so special. It's so special to create like spaces. And okay, back to your point about like men. Ugh. But like I think that there is such an uproar and a pushback because it's the first time. No, I know I wouldn't say first time. I'm not gonna say first time because I don't
Yeah, but
obviously know everything.
yeah.
But in modern society, the first time
Yep.
that I have been a part of it, that we are doing something that we love, we are getting financial compensation for it,
Yep.
and we're in our own little space
Yep.
of girls, gays, and theys, like us in this group, and it's
Yep.
not benefiting the man.
Yep.
Because
100%.
indie authors, like I'm not even talking about the publishing space at this point. Like we're talking like indie author specific. Like we are creating our own fucking economy
Yep.
from readers to authors to the whole vibe. We're creating an entire economy that has nothing to do with the man. And like,
And the male gaze.
yes, and has nothing to do with the male gaze. We are not like,
Well, the male GAZE. It has also to do with the
oh,
GAYS.
lots to do with the GAYS always, but the Z, no.
Yeah. And I think too that there is this um panic, low key,
Absolutely.
because it's the first time that like not only are we creating our own spaces, but like we don't need them anymore.
Completely for anything.
We have like such deep friendships that we don't necessarily need you for
Nope.
companionship. We don't
Mhm.
need you financially. We don't need you to own things or do things. And so unfortunately, that does mean you are going to have to like actually bring value and not just
Yeah.
inherently valuable because you're a man.
Yeah. And I think there are so many places, just like in the US, but obviously abroad as well, that they are small towns. We've got 100 people or 2,000 people or however. Like I live in DFW, so we're like 8
Yeah.
million. But like there are small towns where you've got your very, very tiny small pick of the litter for a man. And this is all you know because that's all your mom knew and your grandma knew.
Yep.
And so now you're experiencing, oh my God, this is, there's no way
There's
that
more than
all of
this.
this is fake. Like all of the
Yes.
books I'm reading, there's
Yeah.
no way this is completely outlandish. And
hmm
it isn't.
Yeah. And also I think that like women, and again, we're transitioning out of this, but for thousands of years, women had to cultivate ourselves to be chosen. We
Hmm.
had to like cultivate our skills and our behaviors and our appearances in order to be chosen to survive.
Yes.
Whereas like men didn't super have to do that.
No.
And now they're kind of having to learn how to do that. And like, I am very sympathetic to that. I'm a boy mom. I have
Yeah.
my son is a teenage boy. And so I think about this a lot about like, how do I, what can I do to raise him so that he is less affected by patriarchy? Because it is damaging to everyone.
Right.
Um, But like, sorry, bro. Like, you didn't grow up thinking that you would have to, like, I don't know, bring a cup of coffee to your wife on the mornings sometimes. But then she reads about that in a book and she's like, huh, yeah, it would be really fucking cool if sometimes my husband brought me a cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Or
And
I
it's
don't know,
always the
it would be
the
cool if my husband gave me some orgasms sometimes. These bitches in these books be getting orgasms all the time.
it's always the barest minimum thing that they
It's
ask
like the
too. Like
most bare minimum.
coffee, an orgasm to also get pleasure
I
during sex.
like
Like,
like legit, I hate it sometimes when people are like, "Oh my God, he did XYZ in your book and that's so cute." And I was like, "Girl, that's a good book because my husband does it all the time and it's
yeah.
like the least thing
Yes.
that he does. Like I am begging you to
Please.
understand." And that's the thing is that women are just realizing that like
Those,
there are people that will give a shit about them.
yes.
to do
Yes.
things for them because when you actually care about someone, you want them to be happy and you want
Yeah.
them, but you also have to think of them as a full and complete human being
Yeah.
in order to do that. And I just don't think so many of these men that are getting left actually think of their partners as a real human being rather than accessories
Yeah. Or
to their life.
just in general, I don't think they like women. Like, I don't
True.
think, like, the amount of things that I see, hear, experience about men talking about their significant other, I'm like, you don't like her. You don't like her. Because
Yeah.
my husband would never, like,
Mm-hmm.
the things that he will do, and I will, like, offhandedly say it to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
The shock and awe that I from my mother. The shock and awe that I will get from my mother sometimes about the things that he does for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Mom, it's not that big of a deal.
I need you to
Or,
expect
or,
more.
or it's like, uh, she doesn't totally understand what my job is, which is fine.
Yeah.
I get it. But at the same time, like, she is very much, which I've had to like work through a lot of things, but like value, right? So, like, for her, how much value are you bringing that will equate to what you get out of something, right? And so, if there was a time where he and I owned a business for a little bit, and like I did back end stuff, but you never really saw the back end stuff. And so in my mom's head, I just sat at home all day. And so he was bringing in the money and then also doing things for me. And so that was the thing. And I'm like, girlfriend, that's not how it works. He just likes
No.
me. Even if I brought in $1 million a month, he would still do those things for me because he just likes me.
Yep. Yep.
It's so important to me that you know that.
Yeah. And it's like sad. My husband and I talk about this all the time that like it's uncomfortable for us now to be around the people that obviously don't like their
Yes.
spouses.
Hmm.
Because like I'm with him because I'm obsessed with him. I
Same.
think he's the greatest.
Yeah.
And the same thing back that like we've been in situations where our friends are like sniping at each other in front of us. And like
Yes.
obviously you're not always
Of
constantly
course.
in cohesion or whatever.
Yeah.
But like he said one time to his friend, like his wife wasn't around, but we were all three together. And then I don't even remember what he said, but Chris looked at him and he was like, what a strange thing to say about someone you claim to love. And I was like, and
And
then,
we love
and
to see
then
that.
he started saying that to my mom when she would make comments about me and my body, that he would just be like, what an interesting thing to say to someone you love. Because she would be like, it's such a shame that you didn't get my small ankles. What an interesting thing to say to someone you love.
That is the
Hmm.
perfect comeback. Oh my
Isn't it
Lord.
so good? What
I
an
am going
interesting
to
thing to say.
I'm gonna I'm holding that dearly. I will be stealing
Hmm.
that because oh my God, the amount of times that I have been told something about my body from my family members.
Yes.
I have the most vivid memory from middle school with my great aunt. We were at a wedding and I was
Hmm.
having the time of my life. I'm 11. I am
Yeah. There's
everybody's
music.
Oh my gosh, everybody's trashed around me, which is fine because I'm short, I'm tiny, I'm just vibing, right? Like
Yes.
all I cared about was dancing like majority of my life. So I'm on the dance floor, I'm having great time. She finds me, right? Calls me over. I walk over and she says to me, well, she uses my government name. I'm not going to say my government
Yeah, I
name,
know.
but she says, you know, you would be so much prettier if you were skinny. And I said, dropped. And I have thought about
100%.
that my whole life.
Forever.
Forever and ever. And then at the exact same time, at school, I'm getting told by my bully, who is also my crush, because duh,
Of course.
we love to psycho, or whatever.
Yep.
Um, so I am getting told by him that he told the entire locker room that he would date me if it weren't for my face. So at the same time that I am, it gets so much worse than that. He also explained what a butterface was to my entire class using me as an example. Yeah. So much good times in middle school. I have lots of things.
Middle school is the worst.
Horrible. So I'm getting told that at school that like my face is ugly, but my body's great. And then outside of school, I'm getting told that my body's bad, but I'm pretty. And so I'm having this horrible, horrible like existential crisis about like
Yeah.
what my worth is.
And
And
what you're
then
supposed to even be like,
yeah, because I don't I both are wrong to somebody. So
but
like
also
nothing.
apparently both are right. So,
Correct. And so then I'm finding external validation in places I shouldn't, like
yep,
Omegle chat or Snapchat, or I can only find value when somebody likes my body in some way. And
yep,
so, like, I'm dealing with all of these horrible, horrible, horrible connotations just being punched at me
yep.
constantly. And like, I, I'm like trying to like
Make
figure
sense of
out,
it.
yes, of course. And I'm telling you, not until like this account have I been able to even just like work past it. And I've been with my husband since 2018. So
Yeah,
I've had a really good example of like what love looked like for the last 8 years, but I didn't accept it until probably the last 3 years because
yeah,
I didn't like it.
100%.
I wasn't okay with myself
Yeah,
until
yeah.
this whole world. But yeah, it just like I don't think people realize how important it is to have your safe space, but then also how much power we gain back when we just decide like it's okay to like yourself. And like once you're
Hmm.
not thinking about that every morning, there's
Yep,
so much room to think about like everything you could be doing.
100%.
Mm.
100%. And it's, nope. The thought just flew out of my brain. And that's on ADHD.
No, literally halfway through that, what I was just saying, I was like, why did I start talking about this? And then I
Like,
got there
what the
at the
fuck
end.
am I talking about?
I was like, damn, she's really trauma dumping.
It's so fine. It's so fine. If there's a place to trauma dump, it's with me, girl. I'm telling you.
And
It's
with every person that's gonna watch this, hell yeah.
like, can I tell you, when I went into my eating disorder treatment, like, I knew that I had had an eating disorder. I started
Yeah.
having an eating disorder in middle school because middle school sucks. It's also
Horrible.
when, sorry, full on trigger warning. It's also when my stepdad started essaying me.
Mm.
And I've always had a really weird relationship with my body because he policed my body a lot.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, I
Yeah.
would be like, well, fuck you. You don't like it when I gain weight, so I'm going to eat this entire pack of Oreos. But then also, I don't want to gain weight because that's horrible. Anyway, so I go into, I'm like struggling. I had recently had, it was May 2020. I had a miscarriage.
Mm.
And so, like, when I was pregnant, I had been vomiting a lot. And then my
Yeah.
husband was like, hey, girl, I heard you vomiting in the bathroom again the other day. Like, maybe you should like go back to treatment for your ED. And I was like, yeah, maybe it's happening more than just that one time that you heard. So I go
Mm.
into treatment and I expect to hear, oh, you have an eating disorder because duh. But at the same time, I also got a diagnosis of CPTSD because duh,
Yeah.
girl. You were essayed for years,
Yeah,
repeatedly. And it completely blindsided me. Because in my brain, PTSD was like full on visual
right.
flashback hallucinations.
You had given
And
it its own definition that like you
yeah,
weren't there because your stuff wasn't that bad.
yes.
Of course.
And so I always I am very loud
Hmm.
about some of what I've dealt with
Hmm.
because no not nobody else was. But
Yeah.
like I still work in behavioral health still. I haven't mentioned this. I work in mental and behavioral health data analytics. So I talk about it all day, all the
Yeah.
time. And it's so much more subtle than we think it is sometimes. So,
Right.
like, I had no idea that a flashback could be I'm in the grocery store and a Journey song comes on and my heart starts racing and I'm sweating and I need to leave the store.
Mm.
I didn't know that a flashback could be that there are certain mouthwashes that I would smell that
Yeah.
would get me.
Yeah.
And so I do include so my books I'm circling back to my books. It's so weird. Um, but my books really tend to include FMCs, sometimes love interests as well, but always FMCs that have undergone trauma.
Yeah.
And my stories are about after that.
Mm.
How do you navigate finding love after that's happened to you? How does that affect how you see your self-worth and
Yeah.
relationships? And like, how does that twist what you expect from a relationship?
Mm. Yeah.
Right now I'm writing The Adventures of a Tiny Tree,
I'm so
and there's
excited
more to the
for this
title, it's
book.
so long.
I'm so excited. I
Um,
get sent
oh,
your I get sent your art. Can you hear me?
I lost sound, but it just started coming out of here. Are you hearing an echo?
No.
Okay. Okay. Then it's fine. Um,
I get sent the art from that all the time.
she's green with pink hair and
I
sunglasses
know.
in
It's
court.
my favorite thing ever. It's my favorite thing.
But she experienced long-term SA. And
Mm.
so a big part of the storyline is her figuring out like what does she contribute to a relationship outside of sex?
Wow.
And so like it's the story before this was another woman who had experienced trauma that had touch aversion afterwards. And
Mm.
so it's kind of an exploration of like, how do you navigate getting through that with a partner?
Hmm.
And then in this book, she is hypersexual.
Mm.
And when he doesn't want to have sex, she like has a little bit of a freak out because she's like, no, no, that's the only thing that I bring to the table. And you're upset. And when men are upset, people get hurt. So I need to do whatever I can to make you not upset as fast as possible. And that is sex. And he's like, I think actually maybe we should not have sex for a while. So that like,
Okay. I just have to interject
yeah,
because the fact, like you look at your book, just first time you see it,
yeah,
we have a little green girl with pink hair, and she's the
yep.
cutest thing ever. And we have a shark shifter. And you're looking at that and you're like, this is going to be a sexy, fun time. And then you think about everything that you are actually having a conversation about with her past and how it's going to move forward with her hypersexuality, and then how these characters are going to like actually discuss these things, but it's still a monster romance. And
Hmm.
what I think is so fucking important about monster romance in general is that we are discussing some of the most like insanely hard topics.
Hmm.
Insanely hard topics.
Yep.
But you put it with a dryad and a shark shifter, it is so much easier to take in that information,
Because
right?
it gives you that like one step away
One step away from reality. And
that
so it's
allows
like,
it to be
yes,
consumable and a little less dangerous.
right, yes, yes,
And
because
like I try really hard to like, and a lot of monster romance is quite cozy because sometimes
yes,
those cozy trappings allow you to really dig into some things that like if the world was at stake in addition to dealing with these traumas, it
mm,
would be too much
too
in
much,
one book. And so you
right,
have to have
yeah.
cozy
But
little food settings.
yes, but I also just think it's like, if realistically, like as me, like me as a person, if I heard that explanation of two characters in a contemporary setting, I would never read it. I wouldn't because I couldn't handle it. Like
It's too
as
close.
me as a person, based on my past, based on everything that I've ever dealt with, I could not handle that commentary from two people.
It's yeah, no, it's
But
too
you put it with the monster like glasses, monster lens, I would read that 30 times.
yeah, it's so much safer.
Yes. Yes. But I'm still going to, from that, I'm still going to get tools on like what that will look like in practice, but in a
Hmm.
safe way because
Yes.
there's a distance and like,
It's that same we have to like trick ourselves
yeah,
sometimes
completely, completely.
into eating our vegetables.
Yeah. Blend them up. Put them in your sauce with the
Yep,
blender.
yep. Because it's like it's one thing to think about there are evil elves, capital E, evil elves that are
Yes.
doing bad things, and now she has trauma. It is another thing to there are no elves that can get me. So
Yeah.
it's safer. Whereas there are those real people that can really do those hurtful things.
Yeah.
And it's too dangerous to think about.
It is. I mean it's a big reason why I well, one, stick to the romance genre. I won't read anything outside of the romance genre. I need to know that there will be a happily ever after.
Yeah.
Like I need to.
Yep.
Um I truly cannot handle it. I won't read a book unless there is a happily
Yeah.
ever after. But like if I know that, okay, well, yeah, I might be taken through the ringer throughout the book, but I know it's going to end on a note that I can handle. Like,
Hmm.
it's just, it's why I don't read outside of the romance genre. It's also why I don't read like women's fiction or like
Yep.
th those kinds of books where it's like, yeah, we're going to tell you the most traumatic stuff that's ever happened and you're not going to get a happy I can't and
No. I already
I've
have to
already
live
lived it.
here.
Yes, I live here. I don't want it. I don't want it. Keep it. Keep it. I'm good.
Yep.
I will pass. Thanks so much
Yeah.
though.
I'm so all set. Like, I need
So
the
great.
problem to be that, like, you know, the gods are doing some shit.
The
Or that,
fucking
like,
gods again.
this dragon has gone crazy and he is pillaging a village.
Literally.
You know, because
Literally.
I ain't never gonna have to worry about dragons pillaging my village. And that's a
Correct.
problem that I can like open space in my
Yeah.
life for.
Yes. Or the interpersonal relationships between the couple. 10 out of 10. I got
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
I'm married. He's not going
Hmm.
anywhere, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I can handle those things.
Yeah.
Do not ask me to read anything that is in real life. I
No.
can't.
No, I can't either. It's rough.
Yeah, it is. Okay. I have one thing that I like to ask everybody, and then we'll
Hmm.
get into our goblins favorites.
Okay.
So, one thing I like to ask everybody is to give me your top three biggest manifestations for anything you want, honestly, but your author career. And I always say, like, make them really big and really bold, because if we're gonna say them out loud, they gotta be big.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. So I will say, uh, a trad deal for Guardian.
Love,
Um, the ability to support my family on my writing,
love.
because I am the primary breadwinner in my
Yeah.
household, so I gotta keep bringing the bread, but also like not in a bad way.
Yeah.
My husband needs to be a stay-at-home husband.
Yeah.
He like would make the best house husband ever. So I really want that for him, and I want it
Yeah.
for me.
I feel this
Um,
heavily.
and then wow, okay, I'm gonna cry about this one.
Oh,
But I would love um a forum of some sort where people are like theorizing about my books. Like, I
yes.
remember growing up in forums where people were like calculating the power levels of Aes Sedai and debating who was more powerful and could this magic system do this thing? And that would be like the
Oh,
absolute pinnacle for
yeah.
me.
That's so
Sorry.
cool. Oh, I love that. I love these. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. I hope you get to come back to these and
I
be like, check,
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 check.
check. That's my goal. And when it happens, you have to come tell me.
I will, 100%.
Good. Okay. Are you ready to do our goblins favorites?
I am. Give me just a second.
And now it's time for Goblin's favorites of the episode. All right, I'm gonna have you go first.
Okay. So, these were the books that gave me permission to write only plus size women.
Love.
So this is Chased Me by Aidy Award, who a lot of us probably know as Amy Award, who wrote like The Wiener Next Door and The Cock Down the Block and all of those like contemporary
Those are
plus
such
size.
good names.
They are. They
So
really
good.
are. But before she wrote contemporary as Amy Award, she wrote paranormal as Aidy Award.
Wow.
And they are this one, he's like a dragon shifter, but she just only wrote plus size women. And it was the first time I had ever seen an entire series of just plus size women.
Mm.
Because obviously, like, it's pretty common that we get sprinkled in for diversity. There's
Side
like two of
characters.
us. Or like even, in the course of an entire series, there'll be like one plus size girl and we'll like be so excited and root for her when her book comes around. But like nobody ever leads
Or
with the
or
plus.
it's yes, that or it's like the one plus size girl and then like you could tell the author doesn't know how to write about a plus size body and you're just like
Hmm.
hearing about it every 2 seconds about her curves and this and I'm like,
Yeah.
girl,
Stop.
please.
Like if you're thinking about it that much, I need you to go to treatment.
Please.
Like if you live in a plus size body and you think about it that much, then like genuinely,
Yes.
I need you to go to therapy
Yes.
because it shouldn't be the first thing on your mind all the
It
time.
shouldn't. It should not. It is
Um,
just the body you live in, and
yeah.
that is it.
So I really, really appreciate AD/Amy Award for
Yeah.
it. it like really unlocked something in my brain that like obviously the entire world is not completely populated by plus size women.
Of
And boy,
course.
howdy, is it a strange coincidence that all of these women in the same place all have to be plus size. Spoiler alert, in my world, it's not a strange coincidence. They did it on purpose. But, but I'm kind of like, actually, there are 20 million skinny women that like you cannot read all of those books.
Right.
Also, to be so fucking for real, I don't know what it's like to have sex as a skinny person.
That is very
I don't
true.
know how to
Yeah. I don't either. Yep.
like I don't know.
Yeah.
But there are definitely times that I read books that are written by people that are like straight sized with characters about straight size and I'm like, "Girl, what?
You said you did what?
You are you sure?
Are you sure?
That's the thing."
That's
So I'm like, you know
crazy.
what? I'm gonna stick to what I know and what I experience and what I need to see. Anyway, I'm talking about myself a lot, but
I love this.
I really loved these books.
Yeah.
She has like a bunch of series, and if you can't be reading her contemporary romance because it takes place in this hellscape, she has paranormal where there are dragons and mer people and
We love.
mhm.
So good.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, my rec is called Don't Eat Your Human Boyfriend by Lily Mayne.
Amazing.
It's it's so good. So it's MM, it's tiny because all I ever have time to read are tiny
Tiny.
books. But it's so cool. So it takes place in this like, well, obviously there's a whole world, but they work at this place and there is a hallway, office hallway, and this door goes into the kitchen and the other place to get food, but it's for the people with a vitamin deficiency. Okay. And then on this side is just normal people, right? They cook, whatever. But those people, anybody else cannot go in that door. So the humans assume that it's just like, oh, like gluten free or something. Like, oh, it's
Yeah.
along the lines of that. They're ghouls.
Specialized diet.
Yeah, but they're actually ghouls and they're eating human, and that's why you can't.
Amazing.
It's so good. So they are eating humans locally or like sourced
Ethically sourced.
ethically. Yes, ethically. I could not think of the word. Ethically sourced. And it is such a good time.
That's hilarious
Um
and amazing.
yes, did I already say it's MM? It's MM
Yeah,
and it's so fun, but it's basically like the manager of the ghoul side and like the new hire of the human side and just all of that.
I
And
love
it's
it.
so fun. And also like when ghoul finally tells human like what it means and just it's so good. Yeah. It's so good and I need everybody to read it because it's such a fast read. It's such a fast read. I literally did it in one single night. Oh, actually, do you know the movie Obsession?
No,
Okay.
sorry.
It's a horror. No, you're good. It's a horror movie. It just came out.
Oh,
I
I've heard about it.
okay. I don't like horror movies.
Me neither.
I don't watch them. My husband are his best friend who her and him have been best friends since like middle school and then her boyfriend love him. Love. Okay. So we go to the movies and I bring my Kindle and I read in the back row. It's dim, guys. I'm not blocking
You're so
anybody.
smart.
But I'm reading my Kindle while they are watching their movie. Terrifying that movie. I accidentally saw a part and I screamed out loud. So this is why we use my Kindle. But I literally read it in a single night. Such a fan of this book. Everybody needs to go read it.
Love it. I'm
Yay.
excited.
Okay, and then I'd love to give you time to shout out anything you're specifically working on. Your call to action. The hot ones. There's the TV.
No,
There's the camera. Yeah.
this camera, this camera, this camera.
Yes.
Tell the people what you're working on.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, exactly.
so I am currently writing, this didn't come up at all, but all of my titles are annoyingly long because they're all modeled after actual Victorian novel titles. So
Mhm.
currently I am working on The Adventures of a Tiny Tree, interspersed with whimsical anecdotes of a discarded pair of trousers. And it is about,
How do you remember?
sometimes I get it wrong. Like
No.
my readers will be like, hey girl, it says this on Goodreads and this on the cover of the book. And I'm like, yes, all right.
Oops.
It does.
Ignore that. You didn't see
Ignore that.
it.
But so she is a plus size dryad who has recently escaped captivity. He is a shark shifter who just like, mm, either, depending on how you want to look at it, kidnapped a kid or one man CPS'd him. So like,
Got it.
kid was in a bad situation, he took him. And
Hey,
now
listen. Yeah.
he's an accidental single dad.
Hell yeah.
And she is the accidental owner of an orchard because she like goes to the employment bureau and they're like trying to find her a job and they're like, "Hey girl, what can you do?" And she's like, "I don't know. I've been a sex slave for the last 12 years. So I guess
She said, I can do sex.
I can
Do
do
you have
sex."
jobs for
And they're
that?
like, "Is that what you're like trying to do?" And she's like, "No." And they're like, "What else you got? Do you have any hobbies?" And she's like,
Did
what
you
part
not
of
hear what
sex
I
slave makes you think
just
I
said?
had hobbies? And she's like, I don't know. I'm a dryad. I'm pretty good at trees. And they're like, sweet, bet. Here's an orchard.
Hell yeah.
So it's just about like she is finding what she likes. She's
Hmm.
trying out a bunch of different hobbies and figuring out what she likes about them. He is figuring out like, how do I parent this kid when I'm like kind of a man child myself? Not a horrible man child. I can't be dealing with like
Yeah, of
actual
course.
legit man
Of
children.
course.
Um, she is learning how to navigate her life after this long-term uh like horrible experience. And then also they accidentally get pregnant. Um,
Oh, goody.
so it's just like
That was giving, Princess Diaries, where she's like, if that wasn't enough, add a tiara.
add a tiara. I had this, I knew I wanted to do like an accidental pregnancy book, but also because she's coming out of like a horrible essay situation, I wanted it to not be that like he did something that she wouldn't have consented to.
Got it. Yes.
So I have this art that is the moment that solidified in my head that like they're having sex and he has the realization that he has never had sex with someone that couldn't control their own fertility. And so he's like, oh shit, I could probably get her pregnant. So he like pulls out and turns around and ends up like ejaculating just away from her.
Uh-huh.
But she's a dryad. So she has this little tree that is her bonded tree. And he comes on the tree. I have really bad news for him about how dryads get pregnant.
So good. I've seen that art, and she's laying down in pure bliss.
She's so blissed out. And he's like, because he doesn't think to himself in that moment, oh my God, I might have just gotten her pregnant. He's thinking, this is so rude. Like, this is the most important thing in her life. And I just came all over it. And so, of course, he doesn't tell her that he did that.
Yeah.
He just cleans it up because he's like, this is offensive.
Oh, buddy. Oh, bud.
So that scene was very fun to write. And the scene where she's like, I don't know, I went to the healer because I'm feeling rough. And she told me I'm pregnant. And that lady's on drugs because I'm definitely not. And because nobody's come on my tree. And he's like,
Excuse me, back up.
what?
Can we circle back?
Huh?
What the fuck did you just say?
Girl, what?
Oh my God, I can't wait to read this.
So that is up for pre-order now. It is going to be coming out this autumn sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, late
Oh,
summer,
that's so
autumn.
exciting.
Yeah, it's going so well, and I'm really, really loving it. So
Good. I'm so excited for that book and just for you in general. This has been so good.
it's been
I
so much fun.
I love this episode so much. Well, thank you so much for being here. I just appreciate your time, and I'm so
Thank
glad we
you.
got to do this.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. All right. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later.
Bye.